Hi, I'm Deb Levy, a business and life coach, and today I'm going to be talking about tools students can use to improve their academic success at Harvard Extension School. The three things I'm going to be talking about are goal setting, school work-life balance, and time management. The important thing about being a student at the Harvard Extension School is that you establish your semester goals right at the start. We know from the science of goal setting that good goals have specific characteristics. The first characteristic of a good goal is that it's an intrinsic goal, not an extrinsic goal, which means that you're working on a goal that's important and meaningful to you and not just important to somebody else. When you're working on a goal that you think that you should do, you're not going to be motivated to do it. The second characteristic of a good goal is that it's challenging and it actually pushes you out of your comfort zone into your stretch zone. Research has found that low goals and no goals are equally unmotivating. So for some students, a goal of auditing a class is going to be the stretch zone. It's going to take a lot of time and effort to figure out how to even take the time to learn. For others, it's taking 3 classes and really applying themselves in a way that will engage them. The third component of a good goal is that it's an approach goal, that you're working toward a positive outcome versus an avoidance goal where you're trying to avoid a negative outcome. Now with that, we know that good goals are flexible and respond to feedback, and they're not rigid. I have many students who, after taking 2 classes up to midterms, they realize it's just too much. It's creating too much stress, and it would be better for them to take 1 class, and that would enable them to focus and get the most out of their learning. The next component of a good goal is that they're specific, they're measurable, and they're timeline. So when I say a specific goal, I mean a very specific goal. So when you think about studying, it doesn't mean that you're just going to study. Okay? When a student sets out to study each week, that's very vague. Now, the next step to being more specific is to think about, okay, I need to study 9 hours. Again, a little closer. So having specific, measurable, and timeline goals really helps people focus on what they want to do. So another important thing to think about when students are establishing semester goals is that good goals work together and they're non-conflictual. Now often when people think about goals, they think about goals as the thing that they're adding on to their life. Okay? For many people, goals is a bad word and it makes them anxious. Now when you look at your life, it's important to think about your life as a pie chart. So academic goals are one piece of the pie. Relationship goals, eating goals, work goals, social goals, they're all part of a full life, and it's important to figure out how they can work together during a semester. So when someone says yes to their academic goals, they might have to say no to some other goals. To be a successful student, people need to have a healthy school-work-life balance. Now, all of us are struggling with how to manage the demands of every area of your life. Now, the opposite of school-work-life balance is school-work-life stress. Okay? I like to think about it as school-work-life sanity, and it takes a lot of work. So when I work with students and clients, I tell them that they're the CEO of their own company, and they really have to manage multiple divisions to help them work together. Okay, so there is the academic division, the relationship division, the work division. The advice I have for students and clients I coach is plan, plan, plan. So it starts with the semester plan and planning your syllabus and writing down the deadlines of assignments, of projects, of papers, so you can look ahead and know when you're going to need to put in extra time, when the assignments are going to work with or conflict with other responsibilities you have, so taking that big picture. The next piece is doing weekly planning. So spending a half hour on a Sunday, mapping out your week, looking at your appointments, responsibilities, having a good map. And the last piece is really doing daily planning, is investing those 15 minutes each day to look at what you're going to get done and coming up with an idea of how you're going to do it. Most of us have long to-do lists, but a to-do list is only useful if you schedule in what you need to get done. Now, to go along with planning is you need to have a good scheduling system. Most of us have some format to schedule things, which includes either an online calendar, a mobile calendar, or even a written calendar that's a date book where you write in the things that you need to do. So having a scheduling system that works for you is important. Now, the next piece is figuring out how to manage your energy. It's important to know when you're the most productive in a day and how your brain works, and when you can put in focus time to work on a task, when you're more tired, because we know that when you're more tired, that actually helps you be more creative. So that afternoon walk can be thought of as a time to really think through things and be creative. Now, productivity for some might be in the evening, so it's just important to know how to manage your energy and also build in time to recover. The last piece is to work smarter, not harder. Most of us are trying to multitask. Well, the research says that we lose 30% of our time on multitasking. Now, in a 40-hour work week, that's a lot of hours. So figuring out how you can focus on one task at a time is key. And finally, is to take time to reward yourself. When you're just doing, it's important to stop, pause, and reward yourself, because that is going to refuel you to keep moving forward on your academic journey and really to get the most out of your school experience and to really enjoy your time at Harvard Extension School. Thank you.